Okay, so today we're going to build a game in Python, and today we're going to be using Amazon Q Developer Edition to build a game for us. The goal today is just to kind of investigate it and see what we can do, what's possible. We're going to build a Space Invaders game in Python and see how it goes. All right. So first thing we want to do is we want to create a folder in our workspace. So let's go ahead and create a folder here. All right, so we'll go to documents. All right, so we'll just create here a new folder. Um, game game lab. Let's call it game lab. All right, so game lab. We're just gonna organize ourselves here. Create a new folder. Call space invaders. All right, and we're gonna open this folder here first. So we go to my documents, game lab. It's gonna be our code is sitting. Okay. So you should already have, by the way, you should already have Amazon Q. Yes, I'm gonna trust this installed on the set of plugins. So make sure you do that first. All right, so we're in a space here, and we're going to create uh, our game here. So you can look at some of the things you can do with Amazon Q. So you can ask at different things here. For instance, you can do dev. We do some of that. That essentially gives it a task to create something, review your code, test, transform. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to go and look at our prompt. All right, so let's look at our prompt here. So we have a simple prompt, structure it as concisely as possible, and essentially talks about Space Invaders, and we're gonna create essentially our own version of the Space Invaders games using Python. We have a spaceship here, an invader fleet, some bullets, some shields, and then the game logic. We're just gonna start with these options here. Score 10 plus for invader destroyed, right? So just whatever rules you want here, essentially. For some technical requirement here, we're just gonna see if we can actually apply some sprites for the players, invaders, bullets, and shields, and see how that goes. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to here. And what I want to do before we start is I want to create a workspace. So this essentially allows us to kind of organize our VS Code here and have a way to kind of apply some settings to our space here. All right, so now that we did that, let's go ahead and save it. Save everything. All right, so let's go ahead and start here. We'll take this, and this is called a zero shot prompt. So essentially it's called a zero shot because we're going to prompt the AI to do something without really giving any examples, just simply a prompt, and it's gonna just rely on whatever's trained on. All right, so let's see how this goes. Start chat. And it's going to start. Yeah, so it says, I'll help you create a space game. All right, so it's gonna give me some logic here. All right, so it's quite a bit of code. We'll see if this works. So after it does this, what I want to do, actually, I want it to actually create a game for me. So we're going to wait for this to finish. It's creating the whole thing for me. All right, let's make this a little bit bigger. All right, let's see. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's a lot of code. All right. I'll see if it works. All right, so let's do this. Now we can use a dev command. And in the dev command, we're actually going to spin out essentially an agent behind the scenes. So instead of agents, I don't know, we don't know what's under the covers, but it's going to take this prompt, the same thing that it did here, but it's actually going to apply the code for us. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so it's gonna generate the code. And this might take a little while, maybe 5-10 minutes, not sure. So we'll come back after it's done generating. Okay, so we see here that there's a summary of changes to finish generating the code, and it creates a Space Invaders Python file, implements some of the logic here, and the files that you use tells you what the actual file is going to be. So it's all one file. It's great. So let's see how this goes. We're gonna accept all changes. All right, let's go look at our code. Okay. Yeah, we probably don't want that. Just install it if you don't have it. Background. Let's go back and let's look at Space Invaders real quick. All right, so here's our game. Our constants initializes the screen. Invader settings, bullet settings, shield settings. Has a player here with a sprite. That's an update. Here's an invader, a bullet, a shield, and the game. Let's see, the game's gonna set the screen. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I don't care. Okay. All right, let's go back. So it's going to set the screen here. All right, so you can walk through the whole code here. All right, so I'm gonna run this. All right, so we'll go ahead and create our environment here. Let's see where we're at. 1, 2 invaders. All right, so we'll do 1, 2, and then yeah, there we go. And call it invaders. Okay. A couple seconds. It's creating that. All right, we'll go ahead and source it to activate it. All right, so activate it. All right, so now we have some requirements here that we need to install. So go ahead and do that. Just do a pip install requirements txt. There we go. All right, so that will install everything into our environment. And finally, we'll just run the game. We'll see what happens. Game.py. All right. Well, oops. And that's our first error here. All right, let's make this bigger. We have the AI fix everything here. All right, so let's first take a look what happened. Access instance came to sprite. Okay, let's open a file here. All right, let's see what happened here. Invader. All right, let's go look at here. Hover over invader. What is this? These functions don't exist, so they're just any. Okay, so he needs to fix that. All right, so let's grab all of these. Right, no attribute game. All right, and let's see what it does. Let's go to here. We're gonna go to our dev and let's say yes, I have another task. We're gonna say please fix all these errors. Paste the error here. And it's gonna think about it and go get yourself a cup of coffee. I don't know. Come back in a few minutes. Pause the video and we'll keep going, see what happens.
A few moments later.
All right, so we're back here. It finished generating some code. Let's see what it did. All right, so damage. I did transparency here. Not sure why they removed that, but we'll find out. All right, so some class variables, some random shooting. I'm not sure it's actually going to fix the problem, but we'll find out. Yeah, I still see that there. So, all right. Okay, so maybe it's getting it from here now. So, all right. Well, let's just accept the changes, and let's go ahead and run it, and let's see what happens. Oops. nothing worked. All right, so before we keep going, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do another test, but we're going to actually ask it to create a div file. If you're not sure what a div file is, essentially it's like it says here, it's an open standard defining containerized development environments. It's a way for VS Code and Amazon Q to actually be able to generate some the code, but also test it on the background. So yeah, that's what it does. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's go back to here, and what we're gonna do, let's see. We're gonna create a dev file.yaml. Yep. So let's say I have another task, and then say create a dev file.yaml to test your changes. All right, let's see what it does. Okay, so recognize that, and it's going to create the code, and we'll come back and see how that goes. Okay, so it finished creating the div file. I'm going to take a quick look at that. And you can take a closer look at yours, but essentially here is going to give us some settings to be able to run the code and test it out. All right, so let's go back to our code here. And I think it was player, right? So the problem here is that this player, this bullet here, does not exist. So that's one of the problems. But we're going to give this whole error here to Amazon Q. And we're going to just tell it to go ahead and fix it. All right, let's accept all changes first, right? And yes, I have another task. And say, please fix this error. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it's going to say, I noticed you have a dev file and you want to use that to be able to test this project. So I'm going to say, yes, use my dev file for this project. And it's going to take a little while again. Just get yourself another cup of coffee, refreshment, whatever you want to do. And we'll come back when this is done.
Moments later.
Okay, so it finished creating some more code here. Some shield changes here. Invaders. You really have to look at this code in detail if you really want, because it's quite a bit of it. Okay, so maybe that will fix it. So new handle collisions and shields. All right, so let's go ahead and accept these changes. And well, let's test it out. See what happens. Oh, no, we're still entering an error here. Okay, so it didn't fix that. All right, so let's go ahead and see if it can fix this again. Copy this, and yes. Please fix this and test your fix. All right, we're gonna send that in again and see what it does. All right, remember this is zero shot, so we didn't give you anything other than, hey, build this with some parameters for how to do it. But no samples, no code samples, nothing. So simply using this training to be able to figure out, hey, how do I build this? So you might have to go this a few times, prompt it here and there to kind of get it right. But we'll see if it actually builds something that we can run.
Moments later.
All right, so it finished rendering the code. Before we do that, let's go here and actually see what this is doing here. All right, let's go there. All right, so it's looking for the sprite here on the player group, and it doesn't exist. So the thing about this is that you're gonna have to look through all the code to actually understand what it's doing. It is fun to be able to create things like this and actually look at the code and then, hey, this is how it's doing it. But when you're actually writing stuff that you're going to use beyond just a prototype, I just recommended that you actually look at what things are doing here. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what it changed. Oh, it did not change anything. Very good. So that's a thumbnail request error. Okay, that's not good. Yes, so that was bad. And we're gonna say, please fix this error. The game does not start.
Later.
Okay, so we've been trying a few times to get this to work. It's been broken a few times, so I'm generating some more code and having it fix the last error here. Again, it's trying to access something that doesn't exist. So there's no attribute sprite in the group object. All right, so let's see if this actually fixes it, and then we'll come back to it. All right. I'll probably do a few more of these if it doesn't work until kind of get it at least working. So, and then we'll go from there.
A little later.
Okay, so we're back here again, and let's see what it did. It actually tells you what it generated the code for. Start opening the GamePy. Okay, error shows the code is trying to access Sprite. Okay, that's good. Errors occur because we're trying to use Sprite. Yeah, my work is not complete. Well, let's hope so. All right, let's see. GamePy. Um, well, that might work. Let's see. All right, so now let's test it out again. Oh, there we go. Space Invaders. Let's see if it shoots. Oh, it doesn't shoot. Bullets not defined. All right, let's rinse and repeat. We're almost there. Copy this. All right, so you probably see me do this a few times, but the point of it is that we're gonna have to let the AI actually fix all this. Please fix this error. And then, all right, we'll come back to it again. Again, just try to iterate a few times. One of the things you want to keep in mind is that zero shot essentially is telling it, hey, I want you to guess how to make this. And it's just relying on its training. So, but you can iterate on it. And the whole point of it is just to kind of investigate. If you know how to code, then you can look at the code. If you don't know how to code, then you can actually learn how things are actually implemented, right? All these functions, all these things here. But yeah, that's essentially what I use it for, to kind of figure out some fun things to do and see what happens. All right, so let's give it some time and see what it comes up with. Hopefully it fixes the bullet.
Much later.
Okay, so we have our code generated here. Essentially, this is just going to be a rinse and repeat, right? I'm not going to show you all of the ones that I have to do because things keep breaking, but hopefully this one works. You're gonna have to just grab the error and tell it to fix the next one. So let's see actually what it did in this last one. Okay, so imported that bullet. Oh, hopefully that works. Maybe that was it. Let's just accept all changes. All right. And then we're gonna run it and hopefully it works. Let's see. Python game py. And oh, Space Invaders, I see it there. Oh, taking bullets. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see if we can actually get space. Oops, nope, and it crashed. Okay, so it crashed. So I'm gonna keep iterating through this until we get it at least working, so it doesn't crash, and then I'll come back to you. So I don't want to bore you with the same thing over and over again. All right, so just so you know, you're gonna grab this, and you're gonna simply copy, and yes, I have another task, and just say, please fix all errors. Maybe that'll do it. All right. And yeah, okay. So access player to sprite group. No attribute game. Okay, there's no game. All right. So hopefully that does it. And I'll just keep going until I get it right and show it to you. All right. Okay.
Later. In the void.
All right. So here we are. I made one last change. I actually made some changes that look like may work. So I've accepted those changes, and we're gonna test it out now and see. Okay, that looks good so far. Oh wow, it's a rain of bullets. That's working. Oh, so I made it really hard. Let's see. Oh, that works. Okay, so I can restart the game. Hide, hide, hide. Take him out. Take him out. All right, and it's over. Okay, well that's cool. Let's do the lives. No lives left. Score 40, and that's the game there. We can try to iterate from here. All right, let's see. One more time. I'm going to, and I'm done. Okay, well, so let's see if we can actually do something fun now that we have our game. Let's go look at our code real quick. So let's go over the stuff now here. Bullets, invader, player, shield, the game itself, all all of that. So you want to look through that. Well, so we have now invaders, made it a lot more robust. The file's still there. Okay. Let's go back to Amazon Q and let's see if we can actually do something fun. Hopefully it doesn't break it. So add eyes and mouth to each alien. All right. Let's see. Let's see what it does. All right. And we'll come back when it's done.
Much later.
All right, we're back. Let's see. So it actually created some circles, hopefully for the left and right eye. And we're gonna accept this, see what it looks like, and let's have some fun here. All right, let's try the game. Oh, that looks very upset. Okay, so that's the game. You can play around with this a little bit more if you want. Try to make it look cool, but yeah, that's Amazon Q creating Space Invaders. As you can see, it takes a little bit of trial and error, but you can just have the AI kind of figure it all out on your own. And this is probably a cool way to actually, understand what it's doing. You probably have to refactor some of these things. You can actually refactor in line. Yep. So there you go. Have fun.